Good day, everyone, and welcome to Adventures with Parker. I feel like I haven't said that in a while. Wow, it's been quite some time. But we are finally back at Canada's Wonderland to check out everything that's new for the 2019 season. Of course, everyone knows about Yukon Striker, the new B&M dive coaster that just opened earlier this year, as well as Frontier Canada, the new area that came along with it. But there's a whole bunch of other new things around the park this year, so today we're going to check it all out. So without any further ado, sit back, hold on tight, and let the adventure begin. The headliner for 2019 is the opening of Frontier Canada and its centerpiece, Yukon Striker. With a 245-foot 90-degree drop and 1,105 meters of track, Yukon Striker is the tallest, fastest, and longest dive roller coaster in the world. Of course, I've covered it before on my first ride on Yukon Striker vlog, but it is absolutely amazing and definitely worth checking out. The holding brake gives amazing views of the park, and that first drop is absolutely phenomenal. On top of that, Yukon Striker has excellent theming and is one of the most themed rides in the entire park. One of the most iconic elements of Yukon Striker is its vertical loop, which is the first of its kind on a dive coaster. The loop also pays homage to Skyrider, a stand-up roller coaster that used to be in Yukon Striker's plot of land until its removal in 2015. One of the other cool features of Yukon Striker is its loose article system, which was adopted from another dive roller coaster in China. Before taking your seat, place your loose articles in a cubby on one side of the track, which then travels over top of the track to the other side of the station, where you can then pick them up after your ride. The whole system is so efficient and is one of the coolest things I've ever seen for loose articles at a theme park. And just like any good major theme park attraction, Yukon Striker exits into a gift shop. At Klondike Outfitters, you can find just about any Yukon Striker branded souvenirs that you could ever want. Frontier Canada is also home to 4 new for 2019 restaurants. At the mess hall, you can get some Asian-style noodle bowls. Right next door, at Gold Rush Junction, you can quench your thirst at the Coca-Cola refresh station, or grab some funnel cake for dessert. Over by Yukon Striker's Loop, you can find Chuck Wagon, where you can get your fix of hot dogs and sausages. Finally, the walk-up bar outside of Mindbuster has been converted into Miner's Cafe, which advertises international cuisine, but of course they also have the beer garden right outside. Frontier Canada was originally supposed to open with the park in 1981, with the mighty Canadian Mindbuster as its centerpiece. Of course, that never happened, and now we have Splashworks in its originally planned location. Today, however, Frontier Canada encompasses the entire former area of Whitewater Canyon, the new Yukon Striker area, as well as Vortex, 2017 Soaring Timbers, and 2018's Lumberjack. And rumor has it, it's not even done yet. Frontier Canada is a multi-year plan, and we're only about halfway through. So we'll have to wait and see what other attractions Canada's Wonderland has up its sleeves. One of the changes this year was the re-theme of Vortex. Last year we got the new minecart themed trains, and now we also have a new sign to go with it. The new theme is meant to symbolize a water vortex, which is a technique used in gold mining to get rid of sediments and other dusts and stuff that might be found in the water. The new repurposed name for Vortex works really well, especially considering the interaction the ride has with the mountain and with the water, and it makes Vortex the perfect centerpiece for Frontier Canada. One of the subtler differences for this year was the reintroduction of the Grand World Exposition of 1890. Now this area has been around since the opening of the park in 1981, but it has since been taken over by Action Zone. Now Medieval Faire has chosen to reintroduce the land by basically returning it to the state it was before it became Action Zone. So Action Zone still exists, half of the original Grand World area still has the Action Zone name, but at least we have a little bit of Grand World Exposition back. Now there's no changes in terms of attractions to this area, it's just a name for this year, but we can probably expect to see some changes over the upcoming years, especially in terms of aesthetic and maybe a few name changes. I'm not really sure at the moment, but we'll have to keep our eyes peeled and watch what happens. Either way, I'm super excited to see this area return once again. Personally, I really hope that this restaurant gets reconverted back into the old Japanese restaurant that it used to be. Backlot Cafe, it's not the greatest in terms of food, and compared to what it used to be, the facade is very lackluster. And of course, it no longer fits the theme of the area. So fingers crossed that we do get something that resembles the old Japanese restaurant. Either way, I'm sure we'll see this restaurant get a facelift in the near future. I low-key want to play whack-a-mole for the sole purpose of winning one of these slot stubbies. So cute. We're here in Medieval Faire, where a lot of attractions have actually changed their name for the 2019 season. But this isn't the first time these attractions have had these names, as a lot of the rides here have returned to their original 1981 park opening names. First up, we have Dragon Fire and Wild Beast, which changed back to their original medieval spellings of Fire with a Y and Wild with an E. We also have The Rage, changing back to the Vikings Rage, and Nightmares, changing back to Wild Nightmares. Alright, behind me you can see the Canterbury Theatre, which for the past few years has been known as the Wonderland Theatre. Again, this is one of those throwback to 1981 park opening names, so it's very cool to see the original names coming back all around the park. But I just saw the new for 2019 show, Tundra. It's one of those cirque shows, which is nothing new for Canada's Wonderland. This one was really cool because they had some really neat characters, they had an interesting storyline, and overall it was pretty engaging. You know, it wasn't just, oh look, people doing tricks. They actually had a cool plot to go along with it. It was very unique, very original. Yeah, it was an awesome addition to Canada's Wonderland. So if you are here anytime between now and Labor Day, be sure to check it out. Wonderland does some pretty awesome entertainment, but this one is probably one of the best shows I've seen at the park yet. We also have a new restaurant here in Medieval Faire. This is King's Feast. Now this used to be the old Grill Burger location, and it still has burgers and stuff here, but the King's Feast name just fits in so much better with the medieval area. It really ties together the whole theme. Again, I'm really loving these old throwback names that they're doing in the area, and just making everything work. Canada's Wonderland is really becoming an actual theme park, not just a park with random themes scattered here and there, but each area is actually having one cohesive theme, and it's really nice to see. So well done, Medieval Faire. Good job, Canada's Wonderland. Just loving this. This year's Speed City Raceway got some attention with the CTR themed overlay. I went on it a couple weeks ago. It's nothing crazy, it's just a couple cardboard cutouts here and there, but it's really cool and it adds to the experience a little bit. It's something new. I feel like Speed City Raceway hasn't gotten much love in the past few years. It's kind of off in the corner, people forget about it. This is a cool way to draw people to this attraction and also do a bit of advertising for the new game. Now, I'm usually not a huge fan of marketing inside of theme parks, but this kind of advertising works because it's adding to the experience. It's not just something that's slapped on, it's a little more thought out, which is nice. Now, I would have liked to see a more developed experience. It's really just a couple of boxes and cardboard cutouts, but then again, I'm not really sure how permanent this overlay is. I imagine it's just for the season. But while it's here, it is pretty cool. I would definitely like to see this kind of thing come to other raceways at other theme parks. I think it's a great idea. And one of the more interesting additions this year is this grab-and-go market and international festival. This is actually where the hockey game used to be, so it's pretty cool how they converted that game space to this new retail location. But if you still want to show off your inner Wayne Gretzky, you can still play the Slapshot game at its new home in front of Crackwagon. I just got off Yukon Striker for the 5th time today. Just saying, the single rider line is a huge bonus. But anyways, I absolutely love this last ride because I was in the front, near the center, and as we were going down, we had one of those POV moments where Vortex went around the drop just as we were going down. It was so cool to see firsthand. Everyone saw that in the animation, but it's really hard to see in real life, so to actually witness that while you're on the ride, it was so cool, so awesome to see, and of course the view of the park at night from the top is absolutely spectacular. Overall, Yukon Striker is an amazing addition to Canada's Wonderland. I've said this before, but yeah, it's just awesome. It really fills in that gap that the park needed. It really adds that third good coaster that Canada's Wonderland has been needing for a while. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be coming back over the season and riding it some more. So far, I have 7 rides overall, 5 from today, so that number's probably gonna go up. All right, so the park is just about closed. I might try to squeeze in one more ride on Behemoth, and then I'll be heading out shortly. So I didn't have my phone on me earlier today when I went to Splashworks, but another thing that they did this season is they redid the entrance to Splashworks to fit in more with the Frontier Canada theme. Before, it was kind of generic, not really much going on. With the Frontier Canada theme, it would have stood out like a sore thumb, but now they have all the wood on the bottom, so it really works in nicely. There seems to be a theme today with Canada's Wonderland. It's all about making it work with the theme and really taking the park from just, you know, a random park with rides to an actual theme park. So it looks like they turned it off for tonight, but earlier I saw some water running here, so it looks like they have a goaltending experience right in front of Canadian Traders. I imagine this would be a really cool interactive experience, and it really adds to the whole Yukon theme of Frontier Canada. I'll definitely have to come later on in the season and check it out in more detail. So right now, I'm walking on a new path that was just opened up this year. It connects the Behemoth Plaza with Frontier Canada. Now what's interesting about this path is that it's actually located where the old Orbiter ride used to be. For those of you who don't know, Orbiter was removed. You can actually see the pieces in a lot as you're driving in. But yeah, Orbiter's gone and now we have this. I'm actually pretty glad we have this path. I've always wanted a path to complete that circle, because otherwise, if you wanted to go from Behemoth to Mindbuster, you'd have to go all the way around. So this makes it so much easier to travel between the two rides. And of course, with the extra traffic flow to Yukon Striker, this path is definitely a necessary addition. We are back at Behemoth, and we're gonna go on for one last time, one last ride of the night. Let's do it. All right, I just got off Behemoth. That was my last ride for tonight. The park is now closed and I'm heading out. But I just wanted to address some grumblings that have been going on in the coaster community. There's been some changes to the trim brakes on Behemoth that have allegedly taken away some of the airtime on the ride. But honestly, I've been on twice today and they really weren't that bad. I mean, you could notice them a little bit, but I still got some awesome airtime on Behemoth. Honestly, as long as you're not stapled, you still get a lot of airtime. And I actually feel like the 2 times that I've been on today have been some of my best rides on the ride so far. So if you are worried that the changes to the trim brakes will affect the ride experience, don't worry, it's really not that bad. If you do get stapled, I mean, you're not gonna get any airtime anyways. Then again, it is later in the season, so the coaster runs faster. They might have undid the changes that they had earlier, but no, Behemoth was good, so don't worry. It's still a great ride. It's still, honestly, it's one of my favorites. I'm still not sure whether I like Behemoth, Yukon Striker, or Leviathan more. All 3 of them are great. It's like picking your favorite child. You can't do that. But yeah, that is my day here at Canada's Wonderland. I'm sure I missed a few things today, so if there's anything you want me to come back to in a later vlog, be sure to leave a comment down below. I definitely want to come back and try that gold panning thing out by Canyon Traders. But yeah, as you can see, there's so much stuff going on this year. Yukon Striker is fantastic. What else is new? Everyone knows that. Frontier Canada is an amazing addition to Canada's Wonderland. Like I said, it's been planned since 1981, so to finally see it come to life is so amazing. I'm so happy for the park for making the original vision come to reality. And to see a lot of the other things around the park return to their original name or original theme, it's awesome. Like, I just love seeing the themes really come out in each of the areas. And with that, this adventure is over. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, and all that wonderful YouTube stuff. Be sure to comment down below on what else you would like to see me do here at Canada's Wonderland, or anywhere else for that matter. For those of you who are new, my channel is all about theme parks, travel, local events, local points of interest. So yeah, be sure to hit that notification bell and subscribe. And of course, always remember, the adventure is calling. See you guys.